It is Million Dollar Agent, the podcast, and we are 6 weeks to the end of 2021. Tom Panos and John McGrath, the longest serving real estate podcast in Australia. And there's the dog. There's Snish.
It's God, beautiful girl, aren't you? Say hello, everybody. And Tommy, we are not tired. We are not tired.
We are not, John, we are not tired because, and look, I want to talk about this topic because a lot of agents I've been speaking to, mate, I'm tired. I'm burnt out. And I'll ask them why, and they said, normally I would have had 2 or 3 holidays in the year. I haven't had any time off. And in addition to that, I've got to say there's been a lot of stock being processed in the last month or two. So I can picture that agents are probably busier than what they have been. John, I'm tired. So if one of your people came to you and said, I don't reckon I can get through the next 6 weeks, would you just say to them, listen, go home, start your holiday today? Or would you say to them, hey, how about this?
Look, I firstly, Tommy, in a coaching relationship, I'd be diagnosing with someone. I wouldn't give them just a one-off line, just get back to work or go and have a break. But, my view is, because you and I, with your gym members, we were talking recently and we were talking about, like after 40 years, I still love what I do every day. Like it's my first day at the job. And that comes from an attitude and a sense of appreciation that so many people on the planet would love the opportunity to do what we do. And I get that, and you get that. So we get up every day and we know our job on the planet while we're here for a relatively short time is to make a difference and to shift the needle and to deliver great service and to live a great life. And so therefore sleeping in for an extra half an hour, or whinging or complaining is not a part of that. It's not a part of that game. So I think the first thing I just say to people is, are you really tired, or can we just sort of discuss how you're feeling and what's driving that? And some people, they're upset because they've missed 3 listings and that makes them a bit angry, which makes them tired, because they've got to realize that missing 3 listings is what every agent does. Matt Steinway's list 5 in a row. Mike Dowling's missed 5 in a row, but they handle it differently to most people. So the first thing I think you've got to do is ask yourself, what is it that's making you feel like that? And it could be simple, it could be physiologically, you need some more exercise, or you need better food in your body, or you need more hydration. So there's a physical aspect. Then there's the emotional aspect, which is, what is it that you're not saying? What is it that you're carrying forward with you from the past, disappointment from a week ago or a decade ago, who knows? Do you really appreciate? I mean, you and I know, Tom, I think you said to me that there are 10 or 11 people you knew that have got a current cancer diagnosis. And I know most of them as well. And I just think, oh my God, seriously, you've had 3 major serious, that you've had to deal with and you've overcome brilliantly. But I mean, that's a reason to be kind of feeling a bit down on the world if that what happens as you walk out of a doctor's surgery. But if you've missed 3 listings, man, get over it. Get up harder the next day and be more competitive and redo your listing presentation. So for me, it's either a mental or a physical thing, and it's often about the things you haven't done or you're not doing well. I find that if I've got 14 meetings, from most of my meetings, as you know, start at 6:30, 7 a.m. in the morning. And when I was selling, they would go through at about the same time at night, 6:30, 7 o'clock. Now I try and finish by about 5. But to me, it's the things you don't do in a day, or you procrastinate, or you put off. If I have 14 great meetings and I get 3 or 4 offers and I list a couple of properties and I help a few clients make better decisions and I coach someone that feels good about the coaching session, I feel energized at the end of the day. So I think you've really got to self-diagnose or get someone to help you. What is it that's making you feel like that? Because I don't think COVID is a reason to be tired. In fact, most people at COVID probably worked less with less appointments than they did during normal times. So I think you got to have a bit of a wake up, and you've got to identify what is making you feel like that. Now, by Christmas, this is one of those wonderful industries that most people don't do a lot of buying and selling from about Christmas Eve till sort of probably the 10th of January. So you're going to have a well-earned break, and you're going to have an opportunity to lie on a banana lounge or whatever is your thing for a couple of weeks in a few weeks. So between now and then, let's go hard. Let's not take the foot off the accelerator. Let's go hard to the finish line. And then you get a well-earned rest. You'll sit down at Christmas lunch and you say, man, I really finished that year off well. And I signed up 8 listings for February or 8 auctions for January or February. And you're going to be just supercharged when you come back.
You've always used this thing in December where you say, leave the office having your car parked on the top of the hill with a handbrake on. It makes your holiday better and you've got a more optimistic view about coming back to work.
Yeah, so I got that concept from Dr. Fred, our dear friend, Dr. Fred, and he coached us. And by the way, Tommy, most of those guys that you often use as case studies very kindly, Chauncey, and Vaughan and Tracy Dixon and Matt Steinway, they've all been, sort of students of Dr. Fred. So we owe a lot to him. So Dr. Fred said, when you come...
Have you spoke to Dr. Fred recently? I was thinking about it the other day. I thought I haven't had a lot of contact with him since the COVID stuff.
I haven't either. No, I haven't either. I know that he was planning to come here in December until lockdown got extended, and but I've texted a couple of times, and I think he's fine, and Victoria's fine, which is great. But so many of the teachings that you and I do and our team live by. So he's talking about park your car on the hill. So if you think of the metaphor of a car, a real car, a lot of people, they put it in the garage, they go for a holiday, they come back, the battery's dead, and they can't push it down the hill to, in the old-fashioned days, kickstart it. So they're kind of there with a dead battery. So Dr. Fred says, if you park your car on the hill, you go on holidays, you come back, you're going to have immediate momentum and you're going to be able to kickstart it and build some quick velocity. So he would say, go hard until the minute you're on holidays, then make sure you're on holidays. Because a lot of people, the last week before they go on a break, they're kind of on a break. So if you're going to do that, just leave and go on it. And the other thing is that the other side of the holiday, a lot of people come back on the 7th, but they don't really start working till the 14th. So you may as well stay till the 14th or just start working on the 7th. So he said, make sure if you're coming back on the 7th of January, you have a meeting scheduled with an important client for 8 o'clock on the 7th of January, 8 a.m. So you've got to get into it. Make sure you've got 6 or 7 open homes is scheduled for the 12th of January, if that's the first Saturday you're back. So, he's actually talking about a practical environmental tactic that is going to allow you to finish the year strongly, have a nice break. And then, imagine at Christmas lunch, you're sitting there knowing you've got 8 auctions scheduled for January, February. And you look at that and you say, well, based in this market, they'll all sell. And I should pick up a few more. And if I sell 12 properties in the first 2 months, I've made $150,000 GCI. That's a pretty good way to rest over the Christmas break.
Well, John, that was brilliant. What you just said, and I'm going to just add and extend on your comment about the tired, because I said that myself. So someone said it to me on the weekend. They said, I'm tired. And then I thought, you know what? I'm tired as well. So it got reaffirmed to me. And then I realized I'd actually gone 2 nights I'd had late dinners. I'd gone to Melbourne as well and flying. I hadn't flown for a while. I'd gone to Melbourne and I hadn't slept great in the hotel room. And I'd had a few drinks and I'd eaten late. And then when I got home, John, I had a nice 10 hours sleep and I woke up the next day. And then I thought, hang on a second, I'm not tired, because sometimes you can't actually put an umbrella and say, I'm tired because of all these things. It's amazing what a great night's sleep, not drinking alcohol, drinking enough water, and throwing a bit of exercise in there. And all of a sudden, your energy level is totally different to what it was 48 hours ago.
Yeah, energy is literally a scientific output of what are you putting into your body? What are you doing with your body, meaning exercise? And what are you putting into your mind and doing with your mind? If those 3 things, if you're nourishing yourself physiologically, physically with great food, and you're not putting lots of toxins and sugars and alcohol and rubbish into your body, and then if you're moving, so whether you're doing half an hour walk a day or if you're doing a 60-minute session, doesn't matter, doing something to get yourself moving. And then making sure, because funny you said there, what you said, Tommy, was basically there was a pollutant or a toxicity to some degree in your environment, which was the person that was making the comment. Now, I'm not judging the person, that might have been a one-off comment, but if you're hanging out with people that are energized and charged up and going hard till the end of the year, and you talk. I mean, Matt Steinway, you and I often speak with him. You speak with Matty, you feel better after a 60-second phone call speaking to Matty than you did before. So you've got to surround yourself and add to your speed dial more of those people, and you've got to eliminate or really diffuse yourself from hanging out and talking with the other people. Because if you have 3 or 4 people in a day saying, "Oh, I'm tired, Tom, I can't wait for Christmas, and I need a break," those sort of people, you're right, they start having you feel and think the same way. So you've got to surround yourself with the right kind of energy.
All right, Johnny, I'll be talking to you next week. We're going to do a podcast a week till the 24th of, maybe to the 18th of December. But by the way, John, you've got a view that there's going to be opens and auctions and deals being done right till Christmas Eve.
Yeah, I think that certainly in the big cities, the COVID lockdown has pushed a lot of people's timelines out. So we're having a flood of auctions being signed as we speak, and the people that buy those over the next few weeks ideally will try and be sold before Christmas, so they've got the pressure off themselves over the Christmas break. So I think for those that are wanting to, and I'm not saying everyone has to, but those that are wanting to go hard and finish the year strong, whether it's to Christmas Eve or New Year's Eve, I think there's going to be plenty of business. And for those that might want to get away on the 22nd, 23rd and come back a bit earlier into January, I think there's going to be plenty of buyers first weekend of January. The old-fashioned day, I remember there was a time when, the January long weekend, kind of a lot of people came back after that because they said, "Oh, nothing really happens in January." Well, I think things do happen in January, and I think this January in particular is going to be enormous. So, plenty of business to be done, Tommy. No time to be tired.
Guys and girls, see you all. Signing off. I'll see you next week.
Hey, Tommy. Bye-bye.